Yo, 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 what is up for the next episode of Flip Your 20 Friday? I think we're about 4 weeks into everything being shut down where I live. It's at least a couple weeks where you are, hopefully. So here's the thing for today's video. Definitely something we can all relate to. So before we get into it, as always, if these videos are helping you and other people in your lives, please go ahead and subscribe below, share the videos. At any time, in any way, the more people we can help, the better off we will all be. And also just a little something. If you've been watching these videos, I've mentioned a couple times that my chair squeaks, so I took it out in the garage yesterday. I got rid of the squeak. You got to celebrate the wins. So today's video is about coping mechanisms. And this is something that I think prior to COVID, everyone's busy and doing this and that and when I have time and da. And we're on the hamster wheel. And now, for a lot of us, things have shut down. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of people who are still obviously working. They're not shutting down, which is a whole other perspective through this whole thing, right? All the healthcare workers and people who make any hospital run, grocery store workers, I have friends work in the court systems, some small businesses that are thriving right now. So we're all experiencing this whole thing in our own unique ways. And that's important to have some perspective on, because when it comes to the ways we cope with this, even if someone's in a similar boat to you, like I have a lot of speaker friends who are, obviously we're not traveling and speaking in large groups, we're working on doing things online. Even that we're all experiencing in our different ways. So please don't assume that because whatever your experience is with someone else's, it's not, and we have to give everybody some grace and space to experience it in their own way. And that's why our coping mechanisms, and now, whether they're healthy or not, is really smacking us upside the head. So here's the thing. Coping mechanisms, basically it's really how you adapt to a tough situation or how you deal with times of stress, anxiety, uncertainty, which I would say that's where we're at right now. So, I was talking to some friends recently, and I said, I'm so glad that I have worked really hard. Again, if you've read my book, shameless plug, it's on Amazon. If you read my book, I've done the work with counseling for years to have healthier ways to cope with tough things. And I'm really grateful now because I can use healthy coping mechanisms instead of unhealthy ones. So let's take a look at what some of these might be. So healthy coping mechanisms, right? How you're dealing with this time, wide variety. Exercise, fresh air, healthier food, rest. For the people in the back, rest, sleep, being creative, writing, drawing, poetry, music. It could be gardening, baking. It could be showing more kindness. It could be gratitude. The list could, donating money, time, delivering food to senior citizens. Literally could be anything. But when we have those healthy coping mechanisms, okay, when I feel stressed, and I'll use myself as an example. If I feel stressed or anxious or off, I know if I go for a walk or if I get in a workout or if I choose healthier food, and I usually buy healthy food. I don't have junk food in the house, which sets up an environment for healthier eating. That's helpful for me. So when I feel like, I'm getting a little anxious, or maybe I watch too much news, limit the news, then I can go for a walk, and I know I'm going to feel better after. So that's one thing that I know works for me that's healthy. One thing I know that works for me that's not healthy is getting into the news cycle and just watching too much. This is going to sound weird, but being lazy, which I don't even like terming it in that way, but right now, if I'm just and I'm just sitting and watching Netflix all day, which is okay once in a while. Anything's okay once in a while. But I'm talking about when we're using our coping mechanisms repeatedly, we want them to be mostly on the healthy side. But if I sit and watch Netflix all day, kind of just because, again, it's not the end of the world, but I don't feel good about it after. Now, if I need to give myself permission on that day to do it, that's okay. But if I start to see it's like days after day after day, not the best. So some of the unhealthy coping mechanisms that we might be dealing with also could be isolating yourself, because social distancing is not isolating, obviously, with all the Zooms and FaceTimes and all the apps, or social distancing walks if you're able to do that. But isolation is not a great coping mechanism. Overeating, not getting enough sleep, obviously alcohol, drugs, things like that. Taking out your anger on someone else because you don't have a productive way to deal with it, so we're just like dispersing our anger on someone. Doesn't mean you don't snap once in a while and get angry. I'm not saying that. Again, I'm talking about over the long term. I'm talking consistently using these coping mechanisms, especially if we're a couple weeks into this. For us, where I live, 4 weeks. Some people might be 2 weeks. Some are on the front end or just getting into it. We're talking about consistently over time how are you using your coping mechanisms. And we want to try to get most of them being on the healthier side. Not perfect. Nope. Not perfect. If you know me as a recovering perfectionist, never what I'm talking about. In fact, perfectionism, not a great coping mechanism right now. Being a control freak, as a recovering control freak. I like to be in control, but I can even tell when I'm getting a little too much, a little too uptight, and I got to loosen the reins too. So I'm sharing just some of those ideas of what healthy coping mechanisms are, what some unhealthy ones are, so you can kind of see where you might fall in there. And especially because we are all experiencing this so differently. Like so differently. I have friends who are still working their butts off right now, as I'm sure you might. I have a lot of friends who are teachers, principals, superintendents. They're trying to figure things out. It's this unprecedented time of all of a sudden, in the first time in the history of the world, education's online, and some kids don't have access to it. I mean, there's so many unknown factors. But as I said in, I'm sure, multiple other videos, it's about what you can control and what you can focus on. When you control what you can control, which is only you, and you put your focus and energy into that sense of control, calm, then you can start to work on some ways to cope that are healthier, okay? And the one I want to focus on right now, again, I see we're already almost at 8 minutes here, but I appreciate you sticking with me because we're going to need this for the next couple weeks, probably months. I don't know. So this is a video you can certainly come back to. But the one I want to focus on even really more specifically is coping with when it comes to food, exercise, when it related directly to our body image. Because I've had some people before this even said, hey, can you do a video on like body image or body positivity? I've had conversations with at least 6 of my personal friends on how this situation is bringing up disordered eating that they thought they were healed from or they're still going through, and how this has really knocked them back a bit. Overeating, comfort eating. Again, I'm not saying once in a while, I'm saying like consistently, because whether you're home by yourself, you're home, you have a whole family or younger kids, or you have siblings at home, you're bored, stressed, anxious. Yeah, food's comforting, absolutely. But then that brings them to, oh my gosh, what if I gain weight? Oh my gosh, my pants aren't fitting right. I don't even feel like exercising. I must be a piece of garbage. All these things. So I just want to take a few moments, and I don't know how many more minutes, but this is going to be important. Okay. Here's the thing. In a global pandemic, please do your best to not judge yourself or anyone else on how they're choosing to take care of their body. As someone I used to have an eating disorder my freshman year in high school. Then I did this bodybuilding show, which was one of my favorite goals ever in my life. That wrecked me mentally and physically for years because I didn't know what I was supposed to look like after that. I mean, it destroyed mentally. I was a hot mess for 3 years. I've constantly had a struggle, battle, challenge with body image, nutrition, exercise. I mean, hot mess. Frankly, until I wrote my book, and then all my secrets are out, and then my relationship with food changed almost instantly. So I'm sharing that because I now have a healthier perspective on food and exercise. So, and I'm glad because now I can cope in a healthier way. I can still get a little uptight too, and I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'll go eat the cookie. You're too controlling right now. So I can sense it in myself. But when it comes to other people, maybe they haven't done the work, or they're not that in tune, or maybe they're so in tune and they're just beating themselves up because they feel like they're eating too much and not exercising enough, or maybe they're over exercising. Here is the thing. Please stop judging yourself. Please stop judging each other. When you see people, I'm feeling like I'm starting to sweat now. I'm getting heated. When we are seeing people online with all the free workouts, which is great. It's great. It's healthy if done in the proper amount. But when you see everyone else posting their workout videos and there's no excuse now and I can't believe you're not eating healthy, that if you're watching that and you get done watching that and you feel like crap about yourself, please stop following them right now. That's not healthy. If you know you can't handle right now in this time in our lives, if you can't handle watching that or seeing that because you know it's destroying you and your internal dialogue is just beating yourself up over and over, please stop watching them. Please unfollow or mute or block them. You do not need anything extra in your life to make you feel like garbage about your body. And I'm coming at you from someone who for decades I have dealt with this. And again, I'm on the other side of it. Doesn't mean it doesn't still trigger in my mind sometimes. I told you I'm going to be honest with you here every single time. You will get honesty from me in full transparency. So my heart breaks for people who are struggling on destroying themselves because they feel like they're a failure because they're going to gain a couple of pounds, or they don't feel like exercising as much as they normally do. Yeah, you know why? And I'm not either. My workouts, I'm taking even more days off than I normally do. If my energy's not there, I'm giving myself grace. We're not operating at the optimal level where we were before because this is not where we've ever been before. Please give yourself some grace and some patience. I know it's not easy, but this thing I'm recording this on, this comparison machine, it's wonderful for so many things. Yes, we can stay connected. Thank goodness. But this comparison machine I'm recording on can also be devastating. So what I am asking you to do is to know yourself well enough. And if what you're seeing on your screen every day is not helping you, encouraging you, inspiring you to find healthier ways to cope and deal right now in any way, but especially when it comes to your health, please turn it off. Please. Or DM me. I'm on Instagram at flipyour20_. I respond personally to every direct message I get. If I can help give you some encouragement, I would love to. Because I know when this is locked in your head, the food, the exercise, the weight, all that, I know what that feels like, and it is hard. And it is painful. And we have enough going on right now that we don't need to add extra layers of that to us. You are enough right now. You are worthy right now. You are enough right now. You are worthy right now. You matter. A number on the scale is not the thing. It's not. It never has been. I used to be guilty of it too. It never has been. Stop giving that power. Love yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Maybe start meditating. I started doing that. It gives me at least 5 to 10 minutes a day of just whoo. Whatever it is for you that's going to make you feel better and empowered and in control in a healthy way, please do more of that. We always say we should stop judging others, which is I agree with. What if we stop judging ourselves first? I get passionate about this. I can feel myself getting a little choked up because I know it's hard. You deserve to go through this in whatever way works best for you. Best for you. Healthiest for you. Every image of everyone else on the comparison machine, if that's not helpful, mute them please for a bit. You deserve to have a good a good feed coming through every day, because I know we're on our phones more than we normally are. All right. I'm going to stop there. This went longer than I thought, but I hope it helps you or someone else that you care about. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Reach out at any time. Flipyour20_ on Instagram. I will reply, and I'm happy to help. So, Flipyour20. Take care. Be well. I'll see you in a couple days on the next Monday with Molly. Peace.